Yeah, I'd like to thank Dr. Swann for inviting me here, and honored to share this panel with Casey and Muriel. I'll tell you a bit about myself. My name is Trevor Solway, as David said. I'm 23 years old. I've been in school for about 6 years since I graduated, and in my community, I facilitate film camps, and I've spoken at grads and stuff like that. So a lot of my younger people know me, and so a lot of the most frequent question I get is, how did I get to where I am? You know, what makes me so special? I was part of a youth panel similar to this, and that was one of the questions is, you know, they're trying to duplicate the panel success to the youth. And I stumbled with that question for a long time, trying to figure out, you know, how did I get here? How did I, you know, how did I get in this spot? But when I think about it, I never thought I would be here. University growing up was always a distant thing to me. Like Casey said, I thought I was worthless. I went to a off-reserve school, and you know, when you're in grade 1, grade 2, you walk into a room and the whole room has their mind made up about you already. It can be very detrimental to a kid's growth. So, and even getting to university, I must have graduated with about 30 kids, and about 10 of them were Aboriginal. 2 of us went off to post-secondary, and the rest, you know, are still where they are today. In the 6 years I've been of age, I must lose about 2-3 friends a year to either suicide, you know, drinking and driving, accidental death through alcohol. And you know, sometimes people say your education's paid for, you're so lucky, you know, and I am so lucky. I'm lucky to be alive right now. I'm lucky to be here in front of you. So what made me so special? When I still think about that today, what comes to mind wasn't, you know, work ethic. It wasn't I just worked harder than the next kid. That wasn't it. It was the people, supportive people. Like I got a few teachers I have in mind come to mind. Lindsay, who's sitting right there, comes to mind, and people who have put in time to make a relationship meaningful, and that is a way to build a relationship with your treaty people, your counterparts, is to put in that time and effort to make a relationship meaningful, and to come to events like these, and it not be a one-off thing. You know, don't have an agenda and be like, okay, a Native event, check, you know, move on. But to continue to come out to these. Making Treaty 7 was a couple weeks ago. Red Talks was this weekend. You know, there's tons of plays, and there's a Sisters in Spirit vigil that happened last Monday. You know, these are events you can come out to be a part of our shared community. So the biggest challenge I see in Canada is there's definitely an empathy gap that exists. And too often in this country do we see an Aboriginal child or a missing and murdered Aboriginal woman, and we don't relate to that the same way we would, you know, another girl gone missing or another child gone missing. And yep, so I think how that problem can be fixed is, you know, starting conversations like these, or going to things like Making Treaty 7. It can also start at the education level. You know, some of I think the curriculum should be changed to talk about things like residential school, and some of these darker issues that I don't get it about history. We celebrate history, and we forget about all the bad stuff, and I think we should talk about the bad stuff more often, and at a younger age. Kids in grade 2 or 3 learn racism. Why can't they learn about residential school? So yeah, but I had a great time at the table discussions. My mentor, Cowboy Smith, sitting in the back row, at one of the tables, he said that a lot of these issues are interconnected. You know, how does a child end up in child welfare? Well, maybe it's inadequate housing. You know, maybe somebody can't sustain employment because their mental health isn't where it needs to be. So a lot of these issues are interconnected, and a lot of these issues have very deep systemic wounds that are very real, and there are no quick fixes to these problems. These problems will exist tomorrow after this talk. They'll, you know, the solutions we bring up today, we may not ever see them come into fruition. These solutions may not happen in our lifetime, but we have to be in this together to create a sustainable future for all treaty people. Thanks.